Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. We made a mistake recording this one. We didn't record any video, but we did get audio, so we weren't gonna let it stop us from releasing an episode today. Hope you still enjoy it. Let's get started.
All right, so cheers. Cheers. With our drinks that taste like they don't have alcohol in it, but they definitely do. I need to start using more flavored alcohol because someone told me. Who told me this? Someone told me. My brother told me this because I was showing him some clips of the pod, and he was like, "Don't you guys get flagged for saying that you guys have alcohol in your drinks? Like, doesn't that like shadow ban you or something?" No, and I'm like, no, talking about drugs. Because I got shadow banned for having a joint in a... Oh, like drugs. On a TikTok. Alcohol isn't really... TikToks. Like... No, people talk about alcohol all the time on TikTok. All the time. All over my TikTok. All the time. There's like a whole niche for it. So it's like, come on. I don't know, I'm all sniffly right now. Ugh. And not drugs. It's just... Oh my God. Because I literally just said drugs. People are going to be like, she definitely had the nose candy. To get her hype for the podcast. No, energy. I also have the worst sinuses ever. Yeah. When I was a kid, I had really bad... California is a plethora of a place for allergies because so just flowers, everything, the hills, it's windy. Yeah, where I grew up, at least in the Bay Area, it's pretty windy. Carries all of the pollen everywhere. I grew like an immunity to a couple of allergy medicines because it was so bad when I was a kid. Saw a little... Did you send me this? I don't even know who sends me things anymore. I send you so many things. I don't even know. But there was a hack on TikTok that I saw. Somebody say, get some Vicks Vapor Rub, put it in your nose. Vicks. Vicks Vapor Rub on your nose. Inhale like twice. And then let it go. And then go like this to your what is this? What part of his face is this? I don't know. Cheeks. And like you have to press like super, super hard and tilt your head back. And apparently it unstuffs your nose. My mom constantly tells me every time, like, when you're growing up, I don't know if it's other brown people too, but I know Filipinos always got the Vicks. Always. All the time. You're like, oh, you're sick, you get the Vicks. Yeah. You got headache, you get Vicks. I use Vicks as a... wash your window, use Vicks. I don't know, just Vicks for everything. Vicks with Windex, and there you go. You got a window cleaner. When I'm sick, you take the Vicks thing, and you just kind of like cover your face with like a towel and just have hot, like steam yourself. Hell yeah. I use it to sleep. I have Vicks right next to me, opened and just right next to my nose for aromatherapy to go to sleep. Yeah, I sleep every single day with Vicks up my nose. Literally, I like put it all up in my nostrils. Yeah, like nose candy. But Vicks nose candy smells like menthol. But actual smells like Vicks. Menthol. Actual Vicks, yeah. Cocaine scented. No, Vicks scented. No. Vicks scented cocaine. Yeah. Can you imagine if they started making cocaine with flavors? Don't even joke about it. Because I know that there's a cokehead thinking about a business venture like this. I know that he's thinking about it. I don't know. Because you know how weed already is like, oh, you get that fucking perp and like all this other shit, sour diesel, fucking the longest names ever. It still blows my mind that there are this many cannabis shops in the city. Like, oh yeah, everywhere I walk, there is one, at least one on every block. There's so many now. Because when I first moved here 4 and a half years ago, it wasn't like... I remember seeing people smoking weed, like trying to be secretive somewhere. Sneaky. For me... That's the life we live. For me, being from, California, even when it was illegal, nobody really cared. So, I would see people doing like, what am I in high school again? What is this? What am I, 18? Yeah. And now there's so many shops, which is fine. It makes it easier for me because like having a... still have to go through hoops here to buy. Well, I don't smoke anymore, really. But when I was still kind of smoking when I got here, I had to
have like a dealer and you meet up with him.
You need to know a guy who knows a guy who knows that guy.
And again, it made me feel like I was in college and being secretive. Shit.
Yeah.
It was wild. And now that the second it became legal, there's so many fucking smoke shops now. There's one around the corner from me now that we go to. Charlie's made friends with one of the workers there, of course. That's pretty usual.
Oh my God.
At this point.
I bet. The other day I was walking around Herald Square, that area, and literally everywhere, every street I crossed, there was one. Yeah. It was probably maybe 2, maybe 3 on a block. I couldn't believe it. Because it was just so... It was just like a secret. It was always a secret. Like, you know, you never told your parents. You never told your family. I mean, I still don't really. That was my stomach.
No, I think it was me.
Oh, okay. Like,
you just had
alien noises. Yeah, but I always have to hide it from people. Even, oh my God, the other day I went to my aunt's house for, actually, wait. Welcome to the podcast, because we did not introduce it. I'm Mel.
I'm Lorrie. Welcome. We cheers, but didn't introduce anything.
Yeah, welcome to the chaos. Let's do it one more time.
Second cheers. Cheers.
What was I saying? Lost my thought.
You went to your aunt's.
Oh, I went to my aunt's, and I have an older cousin, like way older than me. So he's like maybe mid-40s, I want to say now.
Yeah.
And I had told my younger cousin, his son, that I had brought some edibles. And so he went up to me. He was like, my older cousin was like, hey, so I heard you have some stuff on you. And I was like,
some stuff on you?
I was like,
God, see, it's so weird to me. That kind of shit doesn't happen
like
anymore.
We don't really talk
about it. Not that I smoked
it
around my family or anything, but like, so
yeah, like we don't talk about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got some edibles. And he was like... and then I took it out, like, because I feel like I'm getting more used to the fact of being out in the open with it. Like, I care less now. And so him, growing up in the age that he grew up in, he was like, oh, put that down. So I took it out as if it was like, you know, regular fruit roll-ups or something like that. Yeah. So there were edibles and, you know, they were like sour belts and stuff like that. So
you like open up your pocket like, hey, you need a...
Just like
the jacket, just
like that, yo. But yeah, I had to like go somewhere. So he was like, yeah, come over here. And I was like, oh, okay. How much do you want? I felt like a dealer, man. Like on the low, in front of all the family, because it was my aunt's birthday, so it was a lot of family there. That's why I had to keep it on the low. But yeah, example. I had to hide it all the time.
I mean, with family, I understand, but as in just general public, though, it's a lot more open here again. Because I smell it all the time now when I'm walking. I'm like...
all the time. Because usually it was always like...
You're like, who has it?
Is that loud? Is that loud? But now it's like, okay, someone's having a good time. That's nice. I want to have a good time, too.
I want to have a good time, too. That's so funny.
But anyway... How's your week?
Busy, just work stuff, and then me scrolling through TikTok as per usual. You know what I've been seeing on TikTok that's been like, it like bothers me a little bit?
What bothers you?
When people post something that they just think is helpful that might be helpful for like other people, but then all the fucking comments are just like, fucking make it. One example was this girl who's just like, I've been traveling for however many years, blah, blah, blah. I forgot what country she went. It might have been Japan or something. And it was nothing on Japan. She loved her experience, but she was just trying to tell people the mistakes that she made and she was just giving tips for other people.
Foreigners who come to Japan.
Yeah, who's visiting, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Anyway.
Is she Japanese herself?
No, she's an American, but she was just saying mistakes she made. It had nothing to do with her experience there, because she even says, she's like, had a great time, just I made a couple of mistakes that maybe I'm going to share to help other people out with. And one of them was, she thought it just automatically checked out on her day as long as you leave at the right time. Instead of checking in at the front desk. And literally every single comment is like, who doesn't check out? I think this is common sense. If you've been traveling this long, you should know blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you, I haven't checked out at a front desk in
forever. And this is at cheap hotels, nice hotels. I have anxiety personally, so I still will ask the front desk. I won't lie to you, but they're usually like, just leave it in your room where you can see it, or there's a drop-off area where you just drop the card in when you're leaving. Mm. I've done that at so many hotels for a lot of years. Very few places have I had to actually ask the front desk to check out.
Really?
Yeah, it depends, obviously. Again, I always ask because I have anxiety.
Okay.
But yeah, she should have asked, which is why she said it was a mistake and that she's just sharing her experience. But man, the fucking comments, bro. And I was like, you're obviously not the demographic.
Yeah.
Just get off her ass. I had a comment because I was like, Jesus Christ, people. She is a person who makes mistakes. And she just posted this to be helpful. Dear Lord.
I think
everyone's traveling experiences are different.
Absolutely. Like,
I've literally been places though where I've seen the box that just says drop off your key, but I still ask.
Okay. Because like I haven't.
I still ask.
Because I haven't, and I mean like maybe I have in the past, but I don't think I'm like that much of a seasoned traveler yet. But I've always checked out. But the thing is regarding the comments, my least favorite person on TikTok is the person who has nothing nice to say on a video. Like, if you don't have anything good to say for the person creating it or whatever it is, just keep it to yourself.
Unless it's really outrageous, though. You know?
Yeah.
If some shit is some bigotry and some racism.
You know what I mean? Unless it's that, then
but
go off.
Usually everything else is pretty harmless. And a lot of people hide it behind critique or constructive criticism. Like, no, that was just straight meme, bro.
No.
Also, phrasing and text, I've talked about this, you can't get any tone through text, especially on the social media, so no one really understands how to write text very well. Because I feel like I've seen comments where I think they really were trying to be constructive, but they wrote it very badly. But half those people though aren't trying to. It's just criticism. I'm just trying to help. Like, you're not trying to help. You definitely were trying to just be a dick about it.
Yeah, and those people turn into bullies, and that's what makes a creator not post as much as they want to, because they're always gonna get these kind of people in their comments. And that just doesn't help anybody, This creator is taking out the time to give people tips and tricks while traveling that a lot of people look for.
Yeah, especially for your first time traveling. This wasn't her first time, but like she said, she had a lot of places where she didn't have to do the regular checkout. And again, I also haven't had that. I travel on and off to a lot of places domestically, and I've been out of the country quite a few times as well. But it just depends on where you are. Right. Sometimes, also, a lot of the comments are like, you should have been more prepared for some of the other tips. I can't remember the other tips she had, but it's like, sometimes you just forget shit. You're a human and shit just kind of happens. That happens to me all the time. My ADHD ass,
I hate a shooter, you know what I mean? Shooters are a special kind of people that belong in a certain kind of place, if you know what I mean. I hate a shooter, as a human, and as you are so aware of your own flaws and mistakes, like, you're always kind of like, man, I should have done this, I should have done that. And it's the worst when another person outside of yourself should you.
Yeah, you're the hardest person on yourself than anyone else. So, and I'm sure a lot of those commenters have that experience too. And just, do you think about what...
I think it's the people are missing the empathetic trait in their person.
It's interesting. I know most of those people were probably adults, maybe not all of them, but that adults have to be reminded how, like, what empathy is.
People don't put themselves in other people's shoes.
There was another video I just saw yesterday, and I wish I remembered what it was, but it was the same thing. Yeah. Where I'm just like, you're clearly not the demographic for this video, so what is the point? Yeah. Every video kind of does have a little bit of a demographic, no matter what. So it's clearly not aimed towards you. Yeah. Unless you're saying like, hey, it might just be helpful if you did this. Okay, cool. Suggestion, constructive criticism, those kinds of things are welcome, but man, it's crazy.
Honestly.
I will say with social media, and especially TikTok, because it's so easily accessible, there's a lot of great things on TikTok, I think. Same with any other social media, but it's also made people so bold, to be so terrible because they're hiding behind a screen. Bold and terrible.
Yeah, they're hiding behind a screen.
You know that SpongeBob thing where it's like, I called it bold and brash. I think it's more like belongs in the trash. Oh. Which is their comments. And
shout out to those people. When I'm looking on a TikTok video and it's supposed to be a really nice and wholesome kind of video.
Yeah, she was super nice in the video.
Yeah, because that's the type of content that I got on my FYP. Really wholesome, helpful content. And then there's always this one person in the comments going, I don't do that. I would hate that. Or like, it'll be a cat video.
Man, at least put a lol so it can, right? So we can know that you're not being super serious.
It up a little bit. It'll be a cat video and it'll be the cat like maybe destroying stuff or whatever. But it's really wholesome. And it's like, you know, cats can be cats sometimes. It's okay.
Like any other animal.
Like any other animal. And then there's one person in the comments go, ugh, this is why I hate cats. And then all the likes on that one comment of fucking furious dog people.
Also, going off of that, why is it that dog people hate cats, but cat people are always like, I love dogs, they're so cute.
I had a whole, do you know, okay, so when
I just like fuzzy animals. I love dogs, and I love cats.
You know what it is? I've spoken to so many people, so many, I'm gonna call them strictly dog people. Strictly dog people. I had a whole rant on this when I had a dating app. On my dating app, you have voice prompts on Hinge.
Yeah.
Right? And I had a whole rant about how strictly dog people are not cat people, but cat people are flexible.
Cat people are like, oh, what a cute little
cat
animal.
Cat people are like, oh my God, all animals
dog
are
people
cute.
are like, my cat took my brother's arm and nam, and I hate them.
Dog people say, cats are weird. Cats are strange. I don't know. Cats, and their number one reason is, you know, dogs love everybody. You know, when you go up to a dog, all they want to do is just, they want pets and they want to lick you.
There's so many affectionate cats on TikTok, though. So many.
Thank you.
And I've had affectionate cats, but I've also had mean cats growing up.
Same, but that's every
I had a dog bite through my hand when I was 10.
That's mad. That's a
but I still like dogs.
Yeah, there's that generalization that pit bulls are the worst, right?
I love
They're
pitties.
the worst, right? Pit bulls
right.
are amazing animals.
They're so cute.
But like you see one little story about how a pit bull, you know, bit somebody's hand off, and all of a sudden pit bulls
It wasn't a pit bull, by the way. It was a beagle. So just letting you know.
Exactly. So it could be any animal, and people are just like so set on villainizing cats just because they're a little particular. Okay?
I will say, I know people always do the thing where like cats show if you can handle boundaries, which I agree with, but it's also it's been used a lot on TikTok. But I also feel like cats, actually I think all animals do, but cats in particular teach some patience.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because once they come around to you, man, little snuggle little fuckers.
You'll be upset at how clingy they become.
If you had a ragdoll, though, they're clingy as fuck, but I love them so much. They're so fluffy. That cat that you sent me, but I've also sent you a million times, Juni, the cat.
Juni, I was on a black hole earlier. I'm obsessed with Juni.
I love that cat. She's so
Shout
sleepy.
out to Juni, because
I'm gonna
Juni is Sleeping Beauty.
I want to put the handle just because I love that fucking cat.
Also,
and her owner, I'm so sorry. I don't actually know what your name is. And I feel bad about that.
Because I went to her Instagram today, just earlier this morning.
But I love you too, because you seem so sweet. And you just love your cat so much.
So sweet. You take care of your cat. You train your cat too. Like, Juni's trained.
She falls asleep in her hand.
Like, just as soon... I saw a TikTok of her. Have you seen it? The one that she's like, hey, like, I know everyone's talking about how fast Juni falls asleep, but I need you to see it in real time.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Oh, my God. Grabs her, and in seconds, Juni's just like...
That's how you know when an animal... especially cats, are comfortable with you. They just fall asleep. I feel like that with people too, if you're dating someone. And dude, Charlie falls asleep on me immediately.
That's how you can
She'll
tell.
just lean on me and just...
Well, I mean, like, Charlie's a cat.
She is. She already knows. I already told her that she is a cat.
Charlie's
a literal cat. She likes to nap.
Yeah.
She likes attention when she wants it.
Yes. Yes.
But she'll go wild if she really wants to.
Yup. She'll have the zoomies.
She'll have the zoomies. She's pretty and cute.
Eyes like a cat as well.
Oh yeah, she got big old eyes.
If you want to get to know Charlie, go back a couple episodes.
But yeah, and she'll straight fall asleep on me. She's like, oh, I want to cuddle, and we'll be watching something, and she'll be leaning on me, and just
nods. That's how you can tell that you're so comfortable with somebody. You just sleep whenever. Yeah.
That was our rant about.
Good rant. I was fired up. Fired up. Yeah, man.
All right. Today, after this whole conversation, the rest of this podcast is Nostalgia Central. We're going through DCOM, Disney Channel original movies that we haven't seen, so either one of us or both of us haven't seen. Not gonna lie though, I've seen so many.
Yeah.
But we wanted to watch the kind of newer generations of DCOM that kind of came after our time, but we also wanted to see ones we haven't seen. Usually I'm the one burping, which is wild.
It was right there. I couldn't swallow it.
But we're going to start with the ones we haven't seen and then kind of break into kind of the newer ones. But we're starting because Melissa hasn't seen Horse Sense. And I want to say our time of Disney Channel was the prime time of the Lawrence brothers and Ryan Merriman. And
Ryan Merriman.
Who else?
Tia and Tamara Mori.
The Mori siblings.
The Mori siblings, right?
Because Taj Mori too.
Taj, right.
Smart guy and all that
Smart
stuff.
guy, uh-huh.
And he was on a bunch of other things. I feel like they were at the forefront.
Raven Simone, don't forget.
It's Raven Simone, apparently.
Oh, you're right, it is. Mm-hmm. She did say that. Raven Simone.
Yes, Raven Simone, who I met, before we get into Horse Sense, when she was still coming up, she had
This is post Cheetah Girls? Pre?
No, it's pre Cheetah Girls.
Oh, wow.
And she had like an EP with maybe 4 songs on it, which I physically had the CD.
Wait.
I don't know how old I was because she's only, maybe a few years older than us?
Yeah, she's not that much older.
I had the CD. And I was a Disney Channel singer.
Do you still have it?
Child. No. I lost that a long, long time ago. It was really old. Very old. I have to look it up and maybe I'll find a picture of it. But she's in a very kind of 90s outfit, baggy pants, and a big shirt on the cover. Anyway, I lived near an Air Force base. And my dad's retired Air Force, so I used to go there a lot. And every base has a BX, which is kind of like their Walmart kind of situation.
BX?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
BX.
Base Exchange.
California.
No, that's not a place. It's just a store.
Oh, it's just a store.
Yeah, it's like a Walmart.
BX. Okay.
I'm saying the base has a BX.
Okay.
Stands for Base Exchange. It's like it's a department store, essentially. And then there's a commissary, which is the grocery store, which I worked at for many years. Mm-hmm. But she performed at the BX on the military base. And I went to that show and I met her very briefly. I don't really remember the interaction, to be completely honest. I was very young. But yeah, that's
so funny.
She was so young herself too. And yeah, I don't know.
Raven Simone.
She'll never see this in her life. But let me tell you, I had the 4 Saw 5s. They had very few songs. I knew every single one. She performed at the BX.
That's hilarious.
It's a whole fucking thing.
Oh my God. Wow.
Anyway.
Raven Simone.
Horse Sense. You have never seen it. It's got 2 of the Lawrence brothers. There is
3.
3?
Yeah, because the other one made a little cameo. Remember?
What
at the very beginning, when Joey first got to Montana, and
wait, he did?
Yeah, man, you missed it.
Well, because I was only half paying attention because I've seen the movie before.
Oh, okay, no, because when he first got there to Montana, this guy kind of brushed him or whatever, and it was him, and it was the other Lawrence brother, and I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he's gonna be in the movie. Nah, he just made a little cameo.
No, he is in the sequel, Jumping Ship. That's the sequel to Horse Sense, which is another movie later on.
I cannot believe. Okay.
I told you that when we were going through the list.
Let me just say this real quick.
I had to bring up my notes.
Because okay, I need to bring up mine too. Okay, so at the end, I was like, wait a second. Have I seen this movie?
But at the end, I mean, do you even remember that much though? Even if you had watched it, I remember a lot.
No. I think the one scene that jumped out at me was when Joey came back. What is it called? Oh my God, I'm blanking.
Auction.
The auction, yes. When they were doing the auction, and this guy came back and he was like, "Oh my God, it's okay. This auction ends now." I was like, "Wait a second, have I seen this?" But then I thought, there's a lot of movies like this.
Yeah,
when one person saves the whole family.
This time of Disney movies, they have because a quick synopsis, if you've never seen A Horror Sense, is that Andy Lawrence. He lives in Montana, he's a little country boy, lives on a farm, and he goes to visit his cousin in Beverly Hills, California, and you can tell that he's like a spoiled rich boy kind of thing. And many movies have that premise.
They do.
The rich kid who goes to the country, because Joey does go to the country because he has to... He fucked up and had to stay with them on the farm for an amount of days so he can go on like this European trip or whatever. Yeah. And there's a lot of movies. A lot of those movies of Disney Channel were similar stories, I feel like.
So that's why...
he does help. They were losing their land, but he does help out in the end to help them keep it, essentially.
Yeah.
So besides, I didn't even realize the Matt Lawrence one. Because I didn't pay attention for like 2 seconds and missed it. But everything else...
It was very quick. It was so quick.
Because since I remember most of the movie, I was looking at random details. When they open up the movie and go to Joey Lawrence, I don't even remember their characters. I'm gonna say Joey and fucking Andy Lawrence.
I don't remember the names.
Joey Lawrence is the older cousin, the rich boy. Yeah. And they go in his room. Yeah. I don't know why this was so weird. His alarm clock was just some lady's lips. And she goes, "Wake up," in like a sultry voice. He's like college age, right?
No,
he's like college.
He's 20. He's 20 years old.
Okay, and it's like, "Wake up! It's whatever. It's 9:30.
It was
wake
the
up!"
weirdest
And I was
thing.
like, it's just a lady's lips.
Yeah.
It's like this is before iPads, but basically it was like an iPad alarm clock.
You know what it kind of looked like? Do you remember the Echo video thing that came out for Amazon?
No.
Okay, so I got one of those through my job a few years ago, but it looked basically like that, and it was like an Alexa.
Yeah, it was super weird though, because I was like, he just has like this sexy voice with a woman's fucking lips coming up.
Spoiled 20-year-old, spoiled brat.
Also weird and creepy a little bit, kind of creepy.
Yeah, a little weird.
His girlfriend, of course, also is part of that storyline that always happens with these, is that the girlfriend is shit.
Girlfriend is always shit.
They were dating for 2 weeks, by the way. I put that as a note. They were dating for 2 weeks, and they say it several times.
I didn't realize
but she's
that,
so weirdly obsessed.
The first thing on my list is sperm brows.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So
What did I not notice?
Well, there was a thing in the 90s, like early 2000s, early aughts, where the really thin brows with like a little like bulbous
that's
shape.
What you're talking. I was like,
I'm talking about sperm eyebrows.
I never heard anyone call it that. I just know we had the really thin eyebrows, and everyone's eyebrows are fucked up.
That's what I call it, because
the pencil eyebrows.
Well, yes, the pencil eyebrows. So I wanted to talk about that because
everybody had it.
Everyone had it.
Joey had it.
It was a trend, man. Like, and all the R&B girlies had it too.
My sister did it in the 90s too, and her eyebrows suffered later on in life, as most people do.
So I wanted to talk about this really quickly because little quick story time. I gave myself sperm eyebrows as well. When I was in high school, so this was 2005 to 2009, I had really, really thick, bushy brows growing up. And
really?
I hated it. Couldn't tell now, right? So I had really thick brows, all right? Thick with 3 C's. And I hated it because, you know, back in the day, that wasn't a good look, right?
Yeah.
I was like damn near unibrowing, right? And I was like, I need to do something about this. And my mom wouldn't let me go to the salon and get them waxed.
Oh, so you did it yourself?
So I did it myself. So I took my mom's tweezers.
That was a mistake of many people in the 90s.
I went off until I had these sperm brows. And this is why I do not have thick brows anymore. And this is why they're not twins. They're distant cousins. So that's that. And his girlfriend had the brows.
I've always had not thin as in skinny, but just thin hair eyebrows. So unfortunately, I
but you have nice brows because you probably
I fill them in.
Oh, you fill them in?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Do you think this is natural?
I thought so, yeah.
Oh, thanks. Then that's my job.
You do a good job.
Thanks. I try to make them look somewhat natural. I don't like hard lines,
No,
when people do brows. I don't like that.
That's
so I try to make them look natural for the most part, but they're actually pretty thin. So you've seen me without makeup on. Not that many times. Maybe that's why.
Not that many times.
Okay. His dad, Joey Lawrence's dad, is Calabar from Halloween Town.
Oh, wait.
I saw him. He walks in. He goes, "Hey, Dad." I was like, "That's Calabar."
Holy shit! I didn't realize that.
Immediately, I was like, "Calabar."
But so I thought that was funny because when he first got on, when I first saw him, I was like, "Oh, I don't know. This guy gives me evil." Like, this guy gives me shitty dad. And that's why, probably, because my subconscious called to me and said, hey, it's Calabar. But I didn't realize that. Uh-huh. For pointing it out.
I fucking hit that immediately. There was one point where he has something on the TV and he's talking to Andy in, like, the little movie theater room that they have.
Right.
You know what's on the TV? Brink.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and when I first watched this movie, it was probably around when it came out, and Brink was right before this movie, like a year or two before. And no, because I remember you can see them skating on a big ramp in the background, and I was like, they're watching fucking Brink right now. That's some Pixar shit when they put little things of other movies.
I love that. I love looking for the Easter eggs.
So yeah, we went in chronological order of release.
This is how we're going. This is actually the beginning of a new series. I don't think we've...
I guess, yeah. Every other week we'll be reviewing DCOM movies. Are doing our little recaps, but this was pre-Halloween Town. So now that I've seen Halloween Town, Brink, and all the other things, it's funny to... I feel that way about a lot of movies now, because I've seen so many movies now than when I first watched some of these movies. And when I rewatched, I was like, I don't remember all these people being in this movie.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they were watching Brink.
I also have something on my notes that says Joey is the same role in every movie he's in. Tell me every single role that Joey has played, sitcom, movie, he's the same. Yeah. He's the same person, same tone of voice, same kind of like charisma, still like the guy, the popular dude, who just knows all the things.
Andy went on to do like the new Hawaii Five-0.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, he's on there. Okay, so his cousin, they say in the very beginning of the movie that he's going to stay 4 days because his mom goes, I think I'll last for 4 days of a trip. And this whole time, so basically Joey ignores him for most of the time. And he's like, I'm taking him to Disneyland next week. And I'm like, dude, they said a million times that he's only going to be there for like 4 days.
Yeah. He's like, wait, what?
And he's like, what are you talking about? There's no way that it went about. It's been 4 days, so bro.
I got
4 days.
I was so mad at him when he took him to the freaking racetrack for his dumbass girlfriend.
To meet his girlfriend's dad that he's been dating for 2 weeks. And she was like, I just really want you to finally meet him. You've been dating for 2 weeks.
She needs some therapy, let me tell you, okay? She wasn't even that cute at all.
Oh, no, not at all. And then her friend Rachel also sounds like a lot. You don't ever see Rachel, but she's like, oh, Rachel's here, and we're gonna go to the club tonight. Is that a good impression? Should it be more Valley?
No, you got
more
it.
Valley?
You got it. You got it.
And Joey, why don't you pay attention? Oh, Joey. I forgot his name in the show.
You need some vocal fry, too, as well.
Like that. Well, can we talk about something less depressing?
That's what she did. And I thought he was going to be like, bitch, what? But obviously not. He was just like, wait, okay, I guess what?
Why are you even listening to me? I've been yelling at you for the last 10 minutes. It's been 30 seconds.
Poor Joey is just looking up at the stars.
He literally just looked at a shooting star.
He was like, oh my God, this is
She said 10 minutes. It was literally 30 seconds, man.
Yo.
Oh, so Andy Lawrence's character's name is Tommy, but Joey's character invited Tommy to visit and basically ignored him. If you're going to invite someone,
you're always going to have to.
If he invited you,
that's
then
your guest. Yeah. That's your guest. You should pay attention to your guest.
I put Gina need to get a grip as in the girlfriend.
Oh, I have a quote. 20 years old, time for you to grow up. That was his dad, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, 20
years? Time for you to grow. I mean, I do think he should take some responsibility for sure. But also, 20 was so young for me. I was in college. I was just going to ask you,
because I was like, wait a second. 20? I didn't even know what I was doing when I was 20 years old.
I did start college at 18. Well, I graduated when I was 20.
Oh, okay.
And I started my first job when I was 21.
All right.
But everyone's timelines are different. It's because I went to an accelerated school because I hate school, but I wanted to try and get a degree or at least learn some stuff. And so I did a 2.5-year program. I graduated when I was 20.
Yeah, I was also in a trade school because I hated school and I didn't want to be in it.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it too long.
So I graduated when I think I graduated when I was 19 actually, with an associate's though. So, but I was like, wow, 20 is just so young to me. So when he said that, I was like, God damn. Like, and then I thought, is it a white person thing?
No. I also think his situation was different. He was a rich kid who didn't have any sense of, he didn't take any responsibility for anything. He always had an excuse. So yeah. I kind of feel like his situation was different. I don't know if it's all rich kids, but it's clear that he was very privileged.
Yeah.
And he had no sense of responsibility for anything. So I kind of sort of understood the whole you need to grow up kind of thing, because some other people respect what they have at the same age, but because they grew up differently, you know? He had no sense of self or any sense of responsibility. So I kind of understood what his dad was trying to... He was basically just being like, just try to fucking be more responsible. You have everything. And all he had to do... He couldn't even get through school. He couldn't even really go on his European trip because he wasn't paying attention to class because he was paying attention to his girlfriend of 2 weeks. Again, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
I will say they were given a lot of shit for like doing stuff, but he still got through it. I will say that for someone who had never done any manual labor in his life, soft hands as fuck. That
I mean, the guy is always buff. You know what I mean? He's always
he still did the work.
He did it.
Not super well or fast or anything, but he still did it. So I'm like, okay, they're hazing him. But some of the times I was like, okay, give him some slack. Like, but then. But that quote of "you're not a city boy, you don't give a darn" was, I found it more poignant because, like, obviously, if you don't grow up a certain way, you're not going to know how to do stuff like that. But I feel like some people could still handle themselves even though they maybe grew up in the city. It just depends on what you do with your life, you know? I like that he pointed out, I was like, it's not because you're from the city, it's because you just don't give a fuck, bro.
Right. Like, if you gave a fuck, maybe.
If you gave a fuck.
I also have 90s to early 2000s moms all look the same. But yeah, I feel like they all look the same. And I think every Disney Channel original movie all had like a look. Like, you know, mom had to be maybe like 5'6", 5'7".
They always had like the shoulder length hair.
Yeah, the shoulder... the shoulder
but
hair.
It's like it's rounded at the bottom specifically.
Yeah, it's,
you know that look.
It gave you a little bit of a long bob, a little bit. You know, sometimes they had a little Rachel cut going on. Yeah.
I think the one thing about this movie, they had this whole point where they have to rescue this horse from a fucking mud puddle, right? And my whole fucking thing about that whole scene is that Andy's character literally like swims through this thick ass mud to the horse. When you see the horse get out though, you can see the whole puddle, and he literally could have walked around because the horse is literally at the back end of this mud puddle near a dry dirt spot on the side. So instead of going through the mud, he literally could have gone around and then put the rope around the horse and then helped it out. But this boy went through the whole mud puddle. And when they did the zoom out, I was like, you could have just gone around.
He also went to Joey Lawrence's character and said, he's gonna die. And I feel like that was a slight exaggeration.
I mean, if the horse couldn't get out on its own, maybe it would just like he would eventually die if he got stuck and nobody rescued it. But he made it seem like it was gonna die in that second.
I thought that horse was mauled by a wolf and was gonna die. Although I do appreciate the love of the horse.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to show that they were gonna rescue it. Yes, but he just could have gone around.
Could have gone around.
It would have been easy. Because when the horse gets out, it walks out the side where the fuck I said he could have just go and put the fucking rubber on the horse. They went through this whole goddamn thing. I can't.
Just for the drama of it all, you know?
For the drama, then you should have made a bigger mud puddle for the fucking movie if you wanted to put the... I could see the side. At least make it hard for me to tell that it was a small mud puddle.
I have something else here. How do you have service out in the fields of Montana?
He was in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
Watching some cows.
Joey's looking for wolves, you know, on wolf
and he has like an old school 90s Motorola flip phone.
It looks like a toy. And he just calls his girlfriend out in the fields.
With no trouble either. There wasn't any trouble, like, oh, sorry, you were cracking up or anything.
Nothing like that. Crystal clear. Oh my God. Oh my God, not Joey Lawrence convincing someone to join a pyramid scheme.
Oh my God, yes!
In all caps.
He was trying to help them get, basically his cousin's mom, to try to help them get money for their house. And he basically was like, I've been learning about this in class, the class that he doesn't pay attention in, about basically a pyramid scheme. The second he started talking, I was like, wait a minute. Is he talking?
What are you doing right now, Joey?
And he was explaining, he was so passionate.
He was.
And I was just like, is he explaining a pyramid scheme?
The way like you're so passionate about someone, you know, trying to like get more money, you know, and the guy who is just like working, he's just like, wait a second, and what about these other people? And
how do they get the money?
And he's like, well, you know, sometimes it's dog eat dog world, you know what I mean? Like,
he's like, well, they have to do it. He's like, well, this doesn't seem... Basically, the dude he's telling it to, he's one of the workers on the farm, and he's just like, you could tell he was like, this don't make any sense.
This don't make sense. Like, and I'm not gonna fall for your shit, basically. Like, get out of here. I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
It's so funny.
I cannot believe a pyramid scheme.
All right, we gotta wrap up this, our view of the movie Horse Sense. Any last comments?
The music in between scenes was always solid. It gave it a little bit of an edge. There was always some like rock music in between.
Oh yeah, so much rock music.
So much rock music for a real country ass movie.
Ass movie?
Ass movie.
1999.
1999, yeah.
So 1999 is when this movie came out.
This is where we begin. Oh my God, okay, so that ends our recap?
Our recap of DCOM movies that we haven't seen.
Next up.
Well, you hadn't seen this one.
What's next?
I don't remember.
I have something in my notes.
It's every other week. We're not doing it every week.
Yeah.
Who's gonna get to the notes first?
Jenny Project.
Oh yeah, that one has a chimpanzee in it. I've never seen that in my life.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Thanks for joining us today. Please follow us on our social media, 30s Dirty Thoughtin on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify.